Okay, so first of all, just to kind of give you guys some background, like when I started as a coach, I didn't have like any training. I was just like, oh, okay, I'll figure it out. So I'm just like looking in the back office, I'm YouTubing, I started to have a team. I just was putting together like links on a spreadsheet of stuff for them to look at, that I didn't have anything for me to actually just go through. So everything was just learning as I went, and I had to come up with a new coach training like really, really quickly. So that the Smart Start that I have now, it's basically like when I started, I learned everything and I made it into a new coach training, and it was too much. So then I just kept scaling back more and more and more until I came up with Smart Start. So it's still simple and it's still really good, but it's 3 years old. In 3 years, I've just learned where I think more emphasis should be. Hey Shay, where I want to change things. I'm learning a lot. Like, sorry, my son's crying. The kind of what I'm learning right now is that this season of in this business and in social media and just everything is like old school is the new school. Like that's what I sense coming. That's kind of my gift, the sense in business trends. I can always like see the trends before they come. And so what I see is that the trend is old school people are just, they can see, they're just getting tired of like the same stuff on social media. They see it coming. And so for us, like as coaches, the crazy thing is as we expand to the UK, we're kind of going to be kind of both because, and you guys, it says my internet's unstable. So if it stops, like gets all breaking up, just raise your hand or something so I can see if I can adjust something else. But what I see that's going to happen is in the UK, they're not going to know what Beachbody is, or they don't know what P90X, psychology, or Daily Sunshine, or anything we say. So every new word is a new word. Like there's no reference. We're not going to have to be as like vague and kind of like create curiosity. We can be out of the gate in the UK. We're going to be a little bit more like to the point, like use all the words. But with the US and Canada, it's going to shift a lot to like just more in-person things, I think, and lifestyle posting, just creating curiosity, like very, very not salesy. We shouldn't be salesy anyway, but just like way, 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 way not. Okay, so anyway, for all that to say, that is the reason for kind of revamping this training. And what I really need you all for is kind of my vision is to be able to have once a week calls where I go through like the meat of it, and then to get feedback from you all, what further resources you would like to see, so that I can then just compile them, put them in the right place. Or if you'd like to see like, I really would like a checklist of what to do first, second, third, to get this done. Like however you feel like you need to break it down, or questions you have, that's how you all are going to kind of help me. Like I'm basically going to be custom making all of this for you. And then that will not only serve you, but it should serve as you build your teams, it should serve, them. And I'm just going to try to be very, very organized with where I put everything. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. Hey, it's bedtime, okay? You've had a bad day. I'm sorry. I love you. Okay. I love you. You smell like a puppy. Okay, can you guys see this slide? Can you see it?
Yep. Yeah.
All right. So
yeah.
Week 1. So here's so the first thing we're going to go over is what you really need to focus on and do like as a coach. And if you watched the webinar before you started, we talked a little bit about like the 4 vital behaviors, what coaches do. But we're going to go over them a little bit more again. And then I wanted to start with the 10 behaviors of just blah. Like these are the 10 behaviors that I see coaches that are not successful doing. And they do them with passion and honestly ignorance. And it's the things they do that they think they are working their business hard. And they will be like, I am stressed out. I am so tired. But they're not doing the 4 vital behaviors. They're doing these 10 behaviors. So the first one is they scroll Facebook and Instagram with no focus. It's like every moment they think they're working, they're just on Facebook or Instagram scrolling. And sometimes they'll comment or like, but they may be commenting or liking on another coach's stuff. It could be their sisters, which is not bad. None of that's bad. But when they're saying, I don't have time to build my business, and they're taking 10 minutes to just randomly, it needs to be, if you're going to scroll Facebook, which is great, it needs to be like really, really focused. Do the focus stuff first and then do the for fun. And 2 things that I have found that help me with this, and this is the kind of thing that I can like create another resource instead of spend all the time now, is Google extensions. So if you use Google Chrome, you can go to extensions and you can even just Google extensions. And there's one called Kill the Newsfeed. And you just enable it. And so then anytime on your computer that you sit down to Facebook, it will have a quote. It will either say something like, get back to work or something, or it will have a quote about like working hard, where your news feed would be. So what that means is you can only look at your messages, or you can go in and type in somebody's name, like specific, that you want to go and look at their feed to comment and like and that kind of thing. And so that's when I find myself getting in a loop where I'm like, what am I doing? I will turn that on, and that helps a lot. And it's like a big wake-up call. The other thing is using Facebook feeds or Instagram collections. And these are basically where you create a small, like a list or a collection of very specific people. And then when you sit down to work, you just click on that feed or that collection in Instagram, and it will just show you that people. So it'll be like your timeline or your feed, but like, let's say I had you 3 or however many are on here now. Hey, Julia. I think there's 4 of you now. So you 4, it would only show me your new posts. So then I'm like, I would be, if I was like, these are my top 4 prospects. Okay. I'm not going to go and, be all weird with them every day. Like, I'm just going to comment and like. And what that does is I'm not wasting my time. I'm getting to the point. I don't have to type in their, your name. And every time I comment on your post, Facebook's gonna be like, oh, are they friends? I think they're friends. And then it might try it. It may like push your post out to them and see if they bite. And so that's why you want to also in your feed put engaging material, where like I love to teach and like preach and teach, but that doesn't get people to feed. It doesn't get people to say anything. And then Facebook's like, well, this person has no friends. Even if people are like, oh, I like that. Like, that's helpful. They may love your feed, but they'll never see it unless you can I don't want to say trick them to engage, unless you can say something. And that's why you see people say like, oh, type your name in the comments and see what gift comes up. And you're like, I'm not that person. Like, that's so, but you know what? Every now and then I'll do it just because I'm like, well, I'm just going to do, and I'll get like 50 comments. And then who's in my feed the next day? All those people. And then I'm in their feed, and then we're friends. Like, so number 1 thing that I see across the board, biggest time waster, is scrolling Facebook with no focus. Next is binge watching TV. And, this is like kind of a sensitive one, because when I'm in my worst spots, I will defend like, it's like Netflix, or is what I'll do. Usually what will happen is I'll be working on projects. And so like, I like to have TV on the like background because it's kind of mindless. It's just fun, but I'll get addicted to a show, like really addicted. And then I'll stay up like 4 hours a night watching it, binge watching it. And before I started coaching and I was a photographer, I just be so tired, and I lay down on the couch, like, and I just lay down, and I'd be like, I would tell myself a story that was something along the lines, I need this rest. My mind, I need to not think for a while. My mind is tired of thinking. This is good for me. anything else would be bad for me. And I would tell myself that story, and it's just not true. Like, it's just not true. So binge watching TV, I think I just don't, I'm not saying that watching, I love binge watching TV. It's just not going to help your business at all. Next, making excuses for potential clients. So this is like when we were photographers, you know, Sam and I are like starving artists, like struggling at the beginning of our businesses. But our goal was to shoot all of the weddings at the Ritz-Carlton. And we had to, even though like we wouldn't have spent, you know, $7,000 on wedding albums and giant frames and stuff, we had to not put that on the clientele that we wanted. We had to not be like a biographical story on them. And so I find a lot of times people will be like, oh, well, my coach, she can't get anything done right now because she's really busy and she's going through a hard time. No, you're going through a hard time. And you don't want it, and you aren't going ahead. Don't say that for her. Why would you breathe that into her? Like, or they'll say like, oh, money's really bad. Like, they don't have money for Shakeology. It's really, really bad. Like, well, it may be, but it also may be that their kid is sick and won't eat anything but like pizza and chicken nuggets, and they'll do anything to get them, you know, healthy. Like, so you can't do that. You have to align yourself with positive testimonies of people that have overcome, so that when someone does give an objection, you're not like waiting for a no or an objection. You're assuming a yes. But if you get one, it's like, oh, you know what? I totally understand that. I felt found. I felt that way too. Or my friend Sarah, she felt that way too. But then what she found is da 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 da. Next, they ignore team calls and trainings. They kind of just like make it up as they go. Success does leave clues. When I started coaching, I was like, ate it all up. There's a national wake-up call, and it's every Monday at 11 a.m. So a lot of times that's a bad time for me. I know you guys that work at schools, like that's obviously a bad time, but there's a podcast. So if you just go on, like if you have an iPhone, go to podcasts, find the Team Beachbody one. And they're really, really good because they're like very experienced coaches. They very rarely have a coach that hasn't been in the business for 3 years or more. And you can scroll through and kind of look at the topics. Like there was one yesterday on Instagram stories. So they're always relevant, and I just would devour those. Let's see. Whoops. Let me scroll. Okay, I think I saw what it says. They worry about what others will think of them. And this is like, I would say the number, scrolling Facebook, and then this one. And when I started as a coach, well, here, I'm like, everything I'm trying to do is basically, I'm like testimonial, feel, felt, found. I felt that way too. I'm not like trying to do this. This is just the truth. I was terrified like of what others would think of me. And I just would I would think of how I might have judged other people without knowing, like really understanding. Now I had this new understanding, but I'm like, these people I'm talking to, they don't know what I'm going through. You know, they don't know how I feel. They don't, you know, but I'd be afraid of them. And something that really helped me with this is when I would feel that way, when I would be afraid to post something, when I would be afraid to invite somebody, because I was afraid of some type of like negative reply, or they would gossip about me, whatever I was afraid of, I started putting a name on it, like a person. It was literally like one person. And my guess is you would probably have 1 to 4 people if you really wanted to be very real about it. So I would write their name down, and then every time it kept coming up, let's say this person's name was Rachel, I would say to myself, or out loud actually, like, does Rachel get to decide if I'm healthy and happy? Does Rachel get to decide like what kind of income, like how I take care of my family, how much time I spend with my family? Does Rachel get to decide if my husband gets to work from home? Like, and then I was like, heck no, no, of course she doesn't. And so that's what I would suggest doing is if you're find yourself like really worrying about what others might think or say, is you don't prescribe like everybody thinks this way. Just name it. It's like 1 to 4 kind of, I don't want to say mean girls, but ones that you've heard them kind of gossip in the past. And you're like, ooh, I think they're going to do that about me. And honestly, it might totally be true, but that's their thing. I don't want people thinking that about me. Like, oh my gosh, Ashley's going to talk behind my back. Like, you know what I'm saying? If someone ever thought that about you, you would totally want to change that about yourself right away. Okay, next one. They make up their own fitness and nutrition. They never really trust the tools 100%. And so why would you expect your client to? They kind of just put this and that together. They'll like, well, here's one of our coaches on our team, Steve, he was talking about a client he had, and he's doing like shift shop, but like he skipped to week 3 of the meal plan instead of doing 1 and then 2 and then 3. And then instead of doing shift shop cardio, he's doing insanity cardio from the program Insanity. So it's not even anything. Like he can't ever, if he were a coach, he can't ever say, these are the results I got from shift shop. Like, or I love this program. It's amazing. You can't go and be like, well, I did this and then this and then this. Now, if you are like a nutritionist like Nikki or something like that, like there's definitely flexibility in customizing. Or like if I have some clients that have like Lyme's disease or food sensitivity. So there's definitely like that. But I think it's important as coaches that we at least once, like we really should be doing this a lot, but get that like at the very beginning, pick a program and go through the nutrition and the workouts flawlessly. Be a challenger in a challenge group, post every day, because until you know what that feels like until you know what a challenge group feels like, and if you like it, if you don't like it, what you would change, till you know what it feels like to work out at midnight because you're committed not to missing, until you know what it's like to go to a birthday party and there's gluten-free, donuts from your favorite bakery, and you say no because it's not on my meal plan for the next 6 weeks. Till you've done that, you can't really feel found. You can't really, I don't feel like authentically walk, like guide your people. And honestly, it's very hard to post about your journey unless you actually have a journey, because you feel like you have to make all these disclaimers. Next, they post like a salesperson. So it's pictures of like them with a Shakeology cup. Like I don't know about you guys, but if somebody I had somebody message me the other day and they're like, hey, I saw that we're both adopted moms. Your kids are so cute. How old are they? And I was like, okay, what does she sell? And I went to her Facebook, and it was like the first picture was a big old thing of like Plexus. And I was like, unfollow. Like maybe we would have been best friends, but and so we have to, and so that's not that we have to be afraid of making friends with people or posting about our products. We just have to do it in a cool way. We just have to be smart. So like instead of having a big Shakeology shaker cup like this, maybe it's in a different cup and it looks different, or maybe it's like off to the side. It's like a little prop in there. I would say like here's the tricky thing with the UK too, is that honestly, profile like saying Beachbody coach, like works at Beachbody, that's actually probably good for launching to the US, if they're going to be looking for coaches. For the US and Canada, it's probably best you don't put the words Beachbody. Not because we should be ashamed, we should be like very, very proud, but until people understand, like they've had some type of experience with a coach, they've had a coach experience, they've had a product experience, they've had they've learned about what we do, they're not going to understand. Like they don't know any of the heart, and they have no knowledge. So don't post like a salesperson. Next, they spend more time thinking and stressing about the business than working. And I totally will do this. I'll be like, I haven't done anything. And then I'll when I do get to work, I'll spend my time like researching something or like making a graphic or something that doesn't, really, really matter. Next, they'll start and stop as they want. They're very swayed by their emotions and feelings. They only work when they feel like it's a good idea. It will be like, I'm not focusing on my family enough. So basically, I'm not going to post anything. I'm not going to reply to anybody. I'm not going to follow up like I was supposed to, because I've decided that right now I feel guilty and I'm not going to do this. So then they'll like take 2 weeks off, and then they're like, oh, everything's going good. All right, now it sounds fun again. And that's just not how a business works. It doesn't mean you neglect your family. It means that if you have peace in your schedule, like you just have to, the book, Eat That Frog, they said one of the main things you have to do is figure out your top 3 things you should be doing and the top 1 thing that's holding you back from doing them. And so for me, that's always been, not always, a lot of times it's childcare. So we like Sam's picking up extra shifts so that we can have more childcare with the kids, and it's been huge. But it's hard to not be swayed by your feelings. Next one is, this is kind of, they don't have work time scheduled in. So they keep waiting for time to work on their business to magically appear instead of removing obstacles and carving out non-negotiable work time. And this changes every season, and that's why you have to not be like, this like yes or no. It has to just be, okay, in this season, how can I make what do I need to correct or change, and how can I make the fastest change? Sometimes that's getting up extra early. Sometimes that's, cutting out TV. Sometimes that's changing how you meal prep or eat so it's faster. Sometimes that's, getting childcare so that you can just say, like, you know what? I can't figure it out any other way right now, so this is it. Okay, and then let's go and look at what the 4 vital behaviors. So these are the things that successful coaches do. And they're so simple that it's just very, very easy to be like, yeah. But I'm telling you, when your business is thriving, it's going to be because you're going to be doing these things really well. So just doing these things very well. Being proof the product works, personal development, inviting, and celebrating and recognizing. We're going to go through each of them. So being proof the product works, or a product of the product. Here's some different ideas. You would show the benefits like of Shakeology or any of the tools that they have in your life, not just a textbook answer. So it wouldn't just be like, does your target market really care? Like Nikki's with nutrition, they may care that it helps. It's clinically proven to help lower blood sugar, lower or stabilize blood sugar, and lower cholesterol. That may really matter. But you know what? Some other people, they may care more that it helps you poop every day, or they may care that it keeps you from. I used to go through Starbucks to get a grande mocha or chai all the time because it was stress relief. It was my happy thing, and it was calories, and it would be my breakfast or a meal. And I don't do that anymore. So they may care about that. But you're being proof in a very real way that it works for you. They stick to the nutrition plan so you can have personal experience with going all in. And we kind of talked about that in the last set, the opposite. Share your fitness journey from day 1 to the last day of a full program. So this can be really hard to do, but Ruth Schroner, who's one of my success partners and the top coach in the company right now, she's really, really good at this. If you want to look at her feed and follow, she's very relatable. She's another Ginger too. Hers is Ginger Fitness. That's what her name is. But she's very relatable. But she'll just do day 1, here I go, and she'll just show a picture of herself, and then every week the same thing. And sometimes you look at her pictures and you're like, I don't know, I can't really tell a difference, but it's so authentic and real that she shows it anyway. It doesn't matter. She just shows it anyway. So you really trust it. A lot of times coaches want a Cinderella story. So they're well, I'm not going to coach, or I'm not going to, say anything until I have everything perfect. including my transformation. Once I
Can I
lose,
say something?
yeah.
You're breaking up a lot. Like I'm having a hard time following you.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Lydia, am I breaking up for you too? Probably.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. Let me see if my kids are on any type of thing real quick. Thank you. Just
sorry.
No. That's what I want you guys to say. Okay. Where's that? Hey, Sam? Let me trying to see if there's something sometimes there's like programs that are going on and I think there's one that might be.
Yeah, open.
It's Evernote. That might help a lot. Can you tell if that's a difference at all?
So far it's good, yeah.
Okay. Is there anything I need to go backwards? No?
No.
Okay. And if it happens again, just tell me and I'll Sam check and see if the kids have something on.
Okay.
So I was just saying, share every time you start a new program. It could be like you're doing 3-day refresh or the ultimate reset. You're going to do 21-day fix, whatever. Just like share your journey. Like this is day 1. Here's week 1, week 2, week 3. Talk about how you feel. What do your people want to know? Like if your market doesn't care about, like weight loss at all, if they only care about how you feel and your energy and your skin and like hair growth or whatever, then show a side by side, but it could just be your face, could be whatever side by side, because side by side triggers people's brain to think before and after. So you show a side by side and then in the text you talk about on the left, like this is how it was. Now this is how I feel. So no matter what the picture is, you can have jeans and a shirt on or whatever. You want to talk about your before and after feelings. Let's see. Okay, before and after, they speak volumes and they separate you from salespeople. So somebody can like push a product all day long, but when you can show how it's like visually how it's changed somebody's life, then there's just no denying it. Like, I don't know about you guys, but when I see, can you hear me okay? Sound check. Is it doing it?
It's okay. It's still a little choppy, but it's not too bad.
When I look at those like lash boost pictures for people, I'm like, ooh, I want those eyelashes. Like if they were to be like lash boosts, increase your lashes by this much or whatever, I think, okay. But when you're like, here were my lashes 4 weeks ago and here they are today, I think, heck yes, like sign me up. Like I literally go from telling someone, no, don't want that, not interested, probably for like a year, to, yeah, sure, add me to that group. Add me to that group. Let me check it out. I'm warming up to the idea. So in any type of, you could be a leggings person. And if you were able to show, hey, this is how somebody's wardrobe before, or this is how flattered they look in their old wardrobe, and this is how flattering it is in these, people are going to, oh, I get it. This will make me better. And then we kind of touched on this too. There are many ways a person can change, not just by losing weight. So proof the products work, that starts with us, because people need to see that it's us. If you can post your clients their before and afters, and you should, especially if you're going to go at this from like an expert angle, and people are going to, as they see you as more of an expert, as a coach, they're going to be like, wow, trust in that. But they will never trust anything more than your own personal ones. This is Kelly. She's on our team, and these are her before and afters. Anytime Kelly puts up these before and afters, they're like 3 years old. She wants a challenge pack sale. She just posts this again, you know, because you're like, she's not sucking in. Like, there's no magic to it. She obviously just worked really hard. Okay, the next vital behavior is personal development. And this is the one that's like really, really, really easy to ignore. And Shay, I know that some of these, like you've learned these before. So hang on, because the next part I think will be very new and good. But it's definitely the most neglected vital behavior, and yet most coaches, it's their biggest stumbling block because they suffer. They get so into their head with self-hate and anxiety, and they just keep waiting for like basically to be rescued by someone from it. When in reality, we're never going to stop being tempted by these things and struggling. We have to self-improve. We have to improve our health. So like on the chemical, level, we're improving everything. But then we also have to learn to adapt. Like, I'm helping my kids. They help them get to school today. I'm having to help them overcome major fears, starting new classes, like major fears, and walk them through it. And as adults, like we want, especially if you're married, like we want our husband to be our therapist. Men are not they are not naturally, most of them, the type to like want to sit down and listen to us and then counsel us and give us, that's so basically we're left like talking to our family and wanting them to fix our life or self-destructing inside. And personal development, it helps us, it gives you the tools to kind of grow up and like get to grow. And I don't want to grow up, like get over it. I deal with this stuff, but I'll tell you, like you turn on, I listen to audiobooks. So you turn on personal development and you're going to either be inspired and kind of move forward, or you're going to learn ways to think, or you're going to learn specific things to do, and all of them are going to help. The couple of books that I recommend to start with, and you only need to do like 10 minutes a day. You may get really addicted to it over time, just like fitness, healthy eating, anything else like that. The ones that I recommend are GoPro. This one is specifically about network marketing. And he just really frames it in the right way, and he helps you understand like how to talk to people and how to just be like normal, not be like all weird, like not look at it like, oh, I have to become a different weird person in order to do this. He just helps you to like, I don't know. It's very, very, very helpful. The Compound Effect is probably like the best book I've ever read, as far as like, it was the most efficient book. It had the most, I feel like, well packaged, efficient information that was helpful of almost any other book. I mean, I've read books that I maybe love even more, but I think it's just something everybody has to read. Miracle Morning, that one's really good. If you're struggling with time and like, I can't make sense of like my day, I'm always feeling like I'm in a tailspin, that one is really, really good for like getting your feet on the ground and resetting your whole self. Entrepreneur Roller Coaster is good if you've never been an entrepreneur, just so you can like kind of understand what to expect, that it's not Beachbody, it's not multi-level marketing, what to expect as an entrepreneur. So you know what the norm is, and you can kind of, when you go back to it, like when you go through things, you can say, oh, okay, this is what he was talking about. And then Eat That Frog, and that is about time management. So those ones are, I think, kind of like good starting off ones. I have an Audible account now. It's $14.95 a month. If you want, I have a link to get like a free month. You get 2 free books. Before I had Audible, if you go to like your library's website or you call them, they should have a free audio app where you like put in your library card once, and then every time you go to the app, it will show you all the audio books that you can download and listen to for free. And so that it doesn't have like everything, but I mean, it's free. So I would kind of say you might just want to start there and go through those. And of course, if you like to read like books, that's great. I struggle to find the time to do that. I listen to audio in the car, when I cook, sometimes when I'm stretching, or if I'm taking a bath. Choose a subject that you need to grow in most and get out of your comfort zone. Don't, just because somebody recommended one, if you're not into it or it's not something you're really like trying to, you want to grow in, then it may not be the right time for you to listen to. All right. And then the next vital behavior is invite. And this one is, the one that I remember when I first started coaching, I was like, what? I have to invite people? And I don't know what I thought. I think because I had been a photographer, I basically it was all marketing. It was never like any personal, I don't know, it was personal conversations with friends, warm market. I just didn't ever frame it as inviting. So I just kind of like, I'm like, well, I just spent $20,000 on camera equipment and build a website, and hey, I need clients. So it just was like out of a necessity. But with Beachbody, we kind of have everything there for us. We have very, very little investment. And so I think we don't have as much of like a need to invite. We don't have as much of a need to like get people. So it can kind of be that thing where people can tend to sit back and be like, well, doesn't the universe know that I'm like ready? And no, they probably, I mean, if you pray about it a lot, honestly, sometimes that's the best thing you can do, but you do need to put it out there. So the best ways to do that are build relationships that last. Don't think that people are like your puppet. Sometimes I find that the coaches come in, are like, I don't want to be salesy. But yet like they get ticked off if somebody doesn't, isn't ready to join them. It's like, well, I thought you didn't want to be salesy. Like, this is their life. This is their time. And, the longer you do this, the more you see, oh my gosh, like put it out there right away so that they can follow your journey and you can check back in with them and just be a person, like just be their friend. After that, if they say no, if they say nothing, like you just go on building a relationship, and most of the time they will come back. So that's the first thing, is just build relationships that last. I say it's like, I'm always thinking like in movies, if there was a guy, you're watching a movie and there's that girl that's like the it girl, and she's dating like all the cool guys, and there's that, dorky heartthrob guy that she doesn't really notice. He asks her out. She says no, just kind of brushes him off. He, later asks her out again. She's like, no, we're just buddies. We're just friends. But he just keeps being her person, until her eyes open, and she realizes that that's kind of how, as coaches, we need to be. Like, we need to not think that all of a sudden our ideal prospect's going to be like, oh, I see you right there. We have to put ourselves out there and we have to take the step. And then if they're not ready, if their eyes are fixated on different things and they're not ready, then we just have to continue to be that person. We have to follow up and be like, how about now? Like, do you have a need now? And we have to continue to understand their needs. Because here's the thing, is sometimes understanding their needs in that conversation and being that person to them, where everybody else is like, happy birthday, or how are you doing, or great, thumbs up, okay, cool. And we're like seeking to find out how they really are, because we want to find out if we can help a solution. Sometimes you find out that the solution is not a challenge pack, is not, Shakeology or recovery. Sometimes it's that they need to go out for coffee, or they need someone to pray for them, or, they need someone to tell some like really dark thing that's going on in their life that they can't tell anybody else. And that, to me, that has like, it was just eye-opening once I really started to talk to people. I was like, I just was not even trying to be a nice person or like trying to be a friend, or build relationships. It was, we can think because we're talking to people, hoping to help them, that we're hoping something will, people will join us. We can think that we're like being selfish, but honestly, I realized that was like way more selfish before I started opening myself up to taking time that maybe I didn't want to take to help people, or, you know, maybe being rejected or feeling weird. That was a lot more selfish. It's important to track relationships and interactions. And this is just because if you don't, one day you may be like, did I ever invite them something? I can't really remember. And then it gets really, really cloudy. You don't know where you are on somebody. So figure out a system to track. If you're like ready to really track, I can suggest and teach you about some different like apps and stuff, but you can also just use pen and paper, a Google spreadsheet. In-person events, this is kind of the old school, new school like thing. I think these are going to be very, very key. And this is a really good way to build trust and just be authentic, because maybe you freak out and you're weird on like when you're messaging people for a while, like maybe it just takes you a while to find that voice, like let your voice, but I can almost guarantee you that when you get in front of somebody, that your real self is going to come out. And that may be like, I'm a little awkward in person, but until you get to know me and I get to feel okay, but it will be authentic. Like people they're going to see your heart. So I think that is something that we should all be pushing ourselves to try to do, is just expand our network, whether that's going to mothers of preschoolers, or when you get invited to go to like the Pampered Chef party or you're something like this, just go, like be that person, meet new people. When you meet someone at the playground, now I'll tell you what, I meet a new person, I'm like, what's your Facebook? Can we connect on Facebook? I get their Facebook. Then I message them and I say, hey, that was really nice to meet you. And I ask them a couple questions, and you know what? Now they're interested in me. They're watching me. And that's like, probably it would be better to get yourself out in front of real people. And even if you're like in the grocery store, like make a friend, get them on Facebook, and then start the others are real relationships. These are just, I feel like there's more trust there. And we're going to talk about how to do a lot of these in the next trainings. Create a funnel to warm a cold market. And we're going to talk about that later. Private message, these are ways to invite. So creating a funnel would be like, you create a free group, community group. You invite people to that. Maybe it's like a 5-day water challenge. Can you drink a gallon of water a day for 5 days? Like, let's explore the benefits. That could be someone that doesn't know you. They grow in trust. They see the value you offer. And then, you know, they're kind of more open to being invited. Different ways to invite: private messages, emails, public ads, and meaning that, that could be, honestly, the way that coaches have done it in the past couple of years is Facebook. Like, you make a graphic, you make a post that's like an ad, like a call to action. I'm open for this. This is happening. Come join me. But you could do anything. You could take out an ad and you could post something in Starbucks. You could find like a community little newspaper or something and ask to people in Beachbody have gotten lazy. Coaches have gotten very lazy. So they're like, only Facebook, only social media. And so I really think that there's a lot of room to do things like tangible things now. Phone and in person are really, really, really effective. I don't like phone. It scares me. I get a little anxious, but I'll tell you what, your like closing rate is going to skyrocket if you start talking to someone one way and if you get them on the phone. So if you can, and that might be something you need to do personal development on, is growing in confidence, but also something that would help you, like How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. That's a good book. Just helps you learn how to talk to people if you don't feel like your conversation skills are great. Follow up a ton of times. Oh, I meant to put a graphic in here. I don't think I did. I think only like 1 or 2% of sales are made on the first like point of contact, like the first invite. I think 80% of them are made between a follow-up 5 to 12. So when you invite someone, you're literally just planting the seed and being the one that says, I'm letting you know that I'm open and I would love for you to be part of this with me. Like, it's there. You do not have to be afraid to ever ask me. Like, I am inviting you. This is a personal invitation. And then they're going to start watching you. They're going to watch your story. So some will say like, yes, absolutely. But a lot will just need to be on their terms and when they're ready. And so that's okay, because I'm so thankful for the hundreds of people I invited 3 years ago that now are ready. I'm like, oh, cool. That was easy. I'm so glad I said something, 3 years ago. Otherwise, they would have maybe thought I didn't like them. Like, that's the thing is you have to consider is that we're feeling like maybe we would be annoying. When you invite someone personally, you're saying, I like you. Like, and that goes really, really far. And a no is just a no for now. And then the fourth vital behavior is recognize and celebrate. And so you can do that in lots of different ways. I'm not going to take too long on this because this is the first time I've done this call. So I feel like I'm like, we're going to go a little longer than I thought. You can post, this could be for your challengers or for the coaches on your team, people like whoever, but things we need to practice. It could be a post that you do saying like, this was really great. This person did it. It could be they rank advanced. They did something significant. It could be a personal message, a small gift. 5 languages of appreciation in the workplace is a good one to kind of learn. You can ask them how they like to be recognized. And also with recognition, celebration, recognize behaviors or landmarks that you want to see repeated and duplicated, because that's where people will, that's where they're going to tend. If they want recognition, they'll do those behaviors. Okay, so this is a new concept, Shay. And once again, it's not a new concept. It's actually like this whole training that we're going through, I was given by the #1 coach in Beachbody. When I say #1, I mean the person that signed up first. Like, her enrollment number was 001. And she had been, if you guys know who Jeff Hill is, most of you probably don't yet. He's our vice president of global sales. So he leads basically like the sales team, the mentorship team that mentors all of the diamond and up coaches. So once you become diamond or above, you get a corporate mentor. And so she had his type of job with another network marketing company for 20 years. And so when Carl Deichler was launching Beachbody, he reached out to her and her husband and was like, because they were both network marketing professionals, and they said, we want you to like launch us. Like, we want you to be first. And they're like, we're retired. Like, no. But she did it. And so basically I got like really lucky, and I came upon this training she did recently, and then I've been like asking her all these things. But basically the concept is becoming a 500 plus PV coach. Okay. And this is going to get a little bit businessy. But we've got to kind of have like clear understanding of like what our goals are and how this is going to expand. So this is just the first puzzle piece to how you're going to create like a really large business out of this. That's very simple, and it's simple for people to duplicate. So PV is personal volume. And really what we're looking for when we say this is like, it will end up kind of being like team volume, but we start with us. So this is the mindset of a 500 PV plus or volume coach. So plus meaning or more. You meet the customer where they are. So the first goal is to create raving customers, and meeting them where they are, meaning like, maybe they may have weight loss goals. They may just like need something really healthy for their kids. Like, they may not be ready to commit to X, Y, and Z. You meet them where they are, and you help them know how to use the product. Like, I can't tell you how many times I talk to people that are like, yeah, I did not like Shakeology at all. I was like, well, can I just ask I always say like, can I ask how you made it? And they're like, yeah, I put water and I shaked it with water. I'm like, no, that's not going to create a raving customer. Like, that would be like going to Starbucks and being like, I don't know, can I have like coffee, but then can you put a bunch of water in it? It just would not taste good. Or I don't think so. I don't like it that way at all. So it would be things like, here's how to make your first Shakeology. This is what I recommend. This is my favorite recipe. Or here's a couple recipes. And you don't have to go and like make these up. You can just go like Shakeology's website. They have calendars. Shakeology's Facebook right now is so good. They have all these really cool graphics that are really, really modern and have recipes. So it'd be things like that. Or if you, like let's say somebody is a runner. You have friends that are runners and they're just talking about how they have a big race or something like that. Saying something like, hey, I would love for you to try something. Like, I have a little experiment. One of the tools that I use, one of the products that I use with my clients that are more athletic and really, really want to increase like their performance, get a better workout, is a pre-workout drink called Energize. Do you use a pre-workout? No. Well, why? Why? Well, I don't know. I just don't know what to use. Or they all are bad for you. Okay, well, what do you mean bad for you? Well, they have like food coloring and all these chemicals. Okay, so what if I told you, if I had you try one that has no food coloring, no chemicals, just amino acids and antioxidants, beet sugar and stevia, and some electrolytes, would you try it and just see if it increased your run time? Yeah, sure. Okay. You can give Energize to a runner that's trying to beat their personal record, and they do, because it's clinically proven to increase your performance by 5%. They're going to be a raving customer. They're going to tell all of their runner friends. If they're sore, or maybe you've got someone in CrossFit and they are their knees are killing them. They're always sore. Well, what do you use for recovery? What kind of thing do you use for recovery? I use blah, 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 blah. Oh, really? Well, tell me about it. Well, da, 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 da. Oh my gosh, I know you use that, but I really think you would love the Beachbody Recover. It uses tart cherry, and it's really, really clean. I don't know. Do you know how clean the one you use is? Well, no, I don't. Hey, if I sent you the ingredients list, would you look at it and compare and see if maybe it's something that next time you run out of what you're using, would you consider just trying this for a month? They're gonna love it. So if we approach it like that, number 2, create a customer who influences. So this is same thing. If somebody's in CrossFit, if they're a runner, you have to as you're talking to them, not try to if you just try to get a sale without really trying to understand their need and help them walk through how this would help them. Let's say it's Daily Sunshine, the organic kids shake. If they're oh my gosh, what do you feed your kids? My kids never eat. You could say, well, what kind of stuff have you tried? Ask them, interview them. And you could say, well, here's a couple things I do. I'll puree spinach and I just hide it in everything. That's my first trick. And then, snacks are really hard because I feel like they're loaded with sugars and salts and oils and stuff. So we use an organic kids smoothie, and it's got this little container on the bottom of the cup where we put the mix in it. And then the top of the cup, we just put water. So then when they're ready at school or after school or whatever, they just dump the powder in and they shake it, and they love shaking it and they're obsessed with it. And that's really helped clean up their diet. And I feel like it helps them want more healthy foods. If you teach them that's the story that goes with the product, then they're going to then tell that story to the people they talk to. They're going to be customers of influence. But when we just stick something in someone's hand because we think it's what they need, and we don't create the storyline or help really understand what they need, they're not going to influence, and it's not going to duplicate. And the third goal of this 500 PV mindset is to create revenue per customer. So not just here, I got a Success Club point, or here, great, I feel good about myself. What you'd love is you would love long-term retention, customers that feel like love the story of what we do. They love you. They love what you offer them. They're in love with the products because you've helped them see how to use them. Like Shakeology, I know how to, it sounds weird, but like I know how to use it really well. I make it like ice cream every day. And it tastes like ice cream, and it's like my favorite thing ever. But I've learned how to like tweak even things like that. But I started with Shakeology, and then now I'm like obsessed with Energize, and we get 2 tubs of Energize and 2 things of Shakeology. And so I'm not doing that because anybody says I have to. That's just what I like. And so with our customers too, is always understanding their needs more. And it's always an opportunity. Like there's always an opportunity to try to replace what they're already doing with something that we offer. Not trying to get people to spend money on things they don't need, but trying to find what their needs are or what they're already using and see if we have a better fit. And then here's Beachbody's unique, healthy formula. And this is a really big deal. It's basically I call it the trifecta, but let's call it the healthy formula. Fitness that's fun and works. Nutrition that's simple and works. And this is all like super healthy, but result driven. And then a coach and community for results as far as like they're following through with the nutrition and with the fitness. So here's some different ideas to get to 500 PV. So this is personal volume, and I will, if you guys make sure you give me all your email, I'm going to email you like a list of the main products that we usually recommend and what the PV, the volume that goes with them. And so with Beachbody, our volume is pretty close to what the dollar amount is. And so, for instance, if the cost of the product is $60, the PV is probably going to be between like 38 and 50, something like that. But here's the first one. In PV volume, all of this, it's a mark of your commission, but then we're going to show you like in the next lessons, next weeks, how this model, how it becomes so duplicatable that it creates a ton of cycle bonuses and all this residual income. First one is find your healthy formula. Questions like, what's your favorite way to get exercise? Like, so, here's a thing that I say a lot, like, especially people I don't know, like, are you into health and fitness too? Especially if they find out that I am, like, hey, are you into health and fitness too? Any goals you're working on? Any goals you're working on? And it really brings out the truth. Like, people will tell you, they'll either say like, yes, I'm doing this. I'm running, preparing for a 5K. Then I can ask, what are you doing? I got to find out more. Like, what are you doing? Do they have any need? Like, do they hurt themselves? Do they need to stretch more? Would PIO be good? Could they use some yoga? Are they good? Or maybe they're just good with their fitness right now. And that's okay. Okay. But usually there is a solution, either right now, like a supplemental if they're already doing something, or when something happens and it's not working out anymore. How's your nutrition or diet been? Like, what is a day? What is it like a day's worth of your meals do? Or what do you like to eat for like your cheat meals? Or, do you all eat pretty clean, or like, do you follow clean eating or anything? Just find out more and more what their diet is, because then you can find out, do they know what clean eating is? Are they addicted to certain types of foods? Are they needing help with that? Do they know what macros are? Do they know portions of each food they should be eating? Do they know how much fruit they should be eating? What carbs they should be eating? And then something like, do you have a buddy system not a buddy system? Do you have a workout buddy or a support system? We need that third one. Is there accountability and support? And then lastly, like, are you open to trying something? Because if we can find that, there's a need in all or any of these areas, then we can say, like I said with the CrossFit thing, like, well, would you be open to trying something different or something at all? So that's idea one, is just finding that healthy formula. Idea number 2, a challenge pack. Okay, so this is our best overall solution. This is what if you've been on the team for a while, this is what we've always focused on, because this is what we were kind of taught to focus on. But this isn't like at the root of how most multi-level marketing businesses work. They don't say, like, if you'll think about it, they're not like, LuLaRoe's not like, you have to get the leggings with the shirt, like the package, or like, you have to get this kit. No, they find out what your needs are, and then they go there. But with Beachbody, like, it's just gotten away from it. Whenever they came out with the challenge pack and they started tying it to Success Club points, which we'll talk about in a couple weeks, it just became very much like challenge pack or nothing. And so now we're reframing and refocusing to 500 PV is our first goal. Like, that's our goal. And it may not be with the challenge pack because that may not be the healthy formula that they need. But most of the time it still is going to be. And that's just because it has the nutrition with Shakeology and Portion Fix. Portion Fix is a communication device to teach them. Shakeology is going to smooth over the nutrition, like the cracks in their nutrition, and just not even if it's like they're eating well, the soil deficiencies, and having like just a busy schedule. And then the at-home fitness kind of is like a fail safe. Like if you travel, whatever you're doing, like you can't really, there's like no excuses. It's so good. Cost of a challenge pack is $160. They are extending I don't know if it's going to be indefinitely, but they are extending the challenge pack on sale price. It was $199, but $160 for until September again, or through September. I'm hoping it just becomes permanent because I think it would just be really like a shock for it to go back up again for us. We get 135 personal volume points for a challenge pack, but honestly, that doesn't matter. So I know that's weird, but that's when we're talking about getting to 500, we need to look at this. For some reason, there's like 3 products that we have where the PV, the personal volume, and the team personal volume, the one that affects everybody, is not the same. Like, because your personal volume right here, this number, it doesn't really mean anything for you. This is really confusing. What you need to know is that a challenge pack, the first month you get 45 PV, but then after that, and you get 25% commission, which is or $50 actually on the challenge pack, which is more. It's more than 50 or 25% commission, so it's $50. The residual team PV, if they stay every month, they stay on Shakeology, is $90. So that's another reason that this is really great product, is because if your goal is to get to 500 PV and then each month get 500 PV, then if someone gets a challenge pack, then the next month you have another 90 PV that you didn't have to do anything extra for. And then the residual customer commission. So if they're signed up as a customer, not a discount coach or a coach, but a customer, then you're going to get $32 on Shakeology every next month, like that they continue on it. Idea number 3, ask for friends and family support and feedback. Something like, hey, I'm doing something new, and it matters to me. I really need your support, and here's why. I'm asking for people close to me for support and feedback with some of the products I'll be recommending. Are you open to helping me with this? So asking them. Instead of trying to just pitch them, hey, I'm just going to pitch you. Just say, like, this is really important to me. And, here's why. Explain why. Maybe it's like, our family really needs the income, and we feel like this is something that's really important. Or maybe it's, this is a way that I'm going to stay accountable with my health and fitness, and I really, really need to, and it makes me really happy. But I need your support because I need some testimonies and I need some feedback. Are you willing to help me with this? And they may be like, okay, what do I have to do? Who knows what their reply, depends on their personality. But then, here's some different products and the PV that goes with it. So, like, let's say talking to your friends and family, and I don't mean friends that are just like acquaintance friends. Like, this would have to be like a really, really good friend that you could say, hey, would you be willing to kind of help me get going? Like, when I started photography business, I went to some of our best friends in our small group, and I was like, can you like be a model for me? I need a portfolio. It's the same thing. Like any other thing you would do if you're a hairdresser, a tattoo artist, whatever, you'd be like, hey, I need someone to practice on. Will you help me with this? So it's the same thing. Shakeology 90, you sold 1 Daily Sunshine, 1 Performance Stack, 1 Ultimate Reset, 1 Derm Exclusives, which is a skincare line that we never talk about, but we have 1 3-day refresh, and 1 all access Beachbody On Demand account without the challenge pack. That would equal 528. So again, I'll send you that spreadsheet so you can kind of put together what yours might look like. And then here's some different like 500 PV activity, like what you would actually be doing. Challenge groups, like it's starting now. Free groups, hey, this is about to start now. You need this to get in. Special interest groups, it could be like, I'm thinking one of the things I'm going to do is start a group that's like kind of like a sneak peek but into our products, and just have a bunch of different videos and information about different products. And so then when I'm talking to someone, they say, yeah, they'll look at more information. I'll say, can I put you in this group and tag you in the video about it, and put them in that and tag them, and then hopefully they'll kind of look around and see other things. That's something you could do. A VIP customer group. So if you have customers, make like a group for them and tell them first about the new specials, new things going on, give them new tips and tricks, and then help develop like a wider range of like product use in them. What else? Okay, you could start a social media business page, target a certain market, doing curiosity posting. So, like I said, with the different products, like call them different things, that then other people are calling them, or just like kind of reference them and see if you can get, like I'll say like, talk about like an organic kids smoothie or whatever. Well, I want people to ask what it is. A social media business page, like a like page, it functions basically as a website. You want to have like your core information, how to get to you. It's an easy tool for providing value, and the main ways we do this a lot now are Instagram and Facebook. All right, we want to create customers of influence. So this is going to be raving fan referrals. We want we want people, whether they're our customers or not, to recommend us. Like, you want it to be that people love following you and they trust you and they know your story, so that when they have a friend that needs to lose weight or they need to get healthy, they're like, oh, you should go talk to Shay. Like, she has a baby and she works out every day and it's so cute and she just totally gets it done. I don't know what she's doing, but it would be great. Like, you should totally go do it. You should ask her. Ask your customers to buddy up. So like, ask them to get a friend or somebody to come over and do it with them. Like, hey, do you have anybody that would want to do this with you? Like, work out together. One of the things Milan, that's like that first coach, she said, is she's like, the customer buddy story is really, really like very strong. It really says a lot when you can say, well, my client Shay and her friend Lydia, they get together and they work out a couple times a week, and they're doing this 21-day fix, thing, or they're doing this, and together, it's crazy. Together, they've lost 15 pounds in the past 2 weeks. Like, it's really, really cool. Or, one of my clients, Shay, and her buddy, her friend Lydia, like, they both have kids that play soccer, and, they both kind of realize that, like, why are all the moms like feeding their kids like these horrible, Gatorade drinks and that kind of stuff. And so they decided to get a thing of hydrate, and they just bring it. Like, one of the moms just brings it, and like both of the kids eat it. So telling those stories where it gives like there's not isolation. It's the same reason why, like, when you see families work out, or a spouse and their spouses work out or whatever, you're like, I don't know, it kind of like draws your attention in more because it adds validity to what they're doing. And then the last one is offer incentives for people posting, like hey, if you make a post about whatever or a testimony, I'll send you a packet of Energize, or I'll, or could be like, hey, do you have 5 friends that you would be willing to send my way, like recommend that would be good for, like you could basically 3-way message introduce me. 500 PB activity would be expanding your product confidence. So it's like beyond the challenge pack. We kind of talked about this a little bit, exploring the creative benefits of Shakeology. What else can it do for you? Like we're thinking like, what does this do for me besides what I know? Create fun videos that involve products. And this can look like different. So one thing I did is when the unicorn Starbucks Frappuccino came out, I took like 30 minutes, but I blended some berries and some different vanilla Shakeology, and I made my own like unicorn looking smoothie, and people loved it. They loved it. So showing how we can use our products to be fun and look interesting. Collect product testimonies. Lola out. This could be before and afters. It can just be that feel, felt, found. Testimonies are like really, really strong. A really, really good way to take you kind of out of the equation and add, again, more validity. I think casually involving your like products in Instagram stories, because like one post can feel like, is this a pitch or not? Whereas in Instagram stories, they're like looking at it like it's a story, one thing after another. So if it's just your regular day and you happen to be, working out or eating something, or have, I don't know, like a shirt that says Country Heat on it or whatever, it's going to kind of be like, oh, but you don't want to be like, I'm sales pitching you now. You just have it in there. This works really, really well for putting before and afters in Instagram stories, or pictures of you with your team, or that kind of thing. Okay, now we're going to talk about ways to launch your business. And so this is extra important for brand new coaches, but you might be like, well, you know what? I never really did that. Maybe you might get some ideas. So for the brand new coach, you want to think, which of these are you? Which approach do you want? The buddy approach, the raving fan approach, the transformation specialist approach, or the expert approach? So let's kind of look at this. So if you launch your business as a buddy, this is good for coaches that are brand new to health and fitness. They maybe have low self-confidence or a lot of fear and doubt. They think that this might be more of a hobby to keep them accountable and make a little extra cash. And they're a lot in for it, for the community, the fun, the accountability, that kind of stuff. Now, this doesn't mean that has to be your reason. That's just that might kind of be one. Some ideas for this type of launch, maybe a social media post where you tell your why. Like, why are you becoming a coach? Or why are you sharing your fitness journey? And casually invite people to join you. So this is, how I did it was kind of a combination, but it in general was like, hey, I'm going to do this. Like, does anybody want to do it with me? Kind of like, I want a buddy. Like, I want somebody to do this with me. Something that could be really good is to find a buddy right away and include them in a lot of your posts. Like, we're doing this together. And, you see spouses do this, but I actually think it would be even more effective if you had a girlfriend to do this with, or if there was 2 guys, where they would just meet up every now and then, or they would track their progress together. So you would maybe post even both of your pictures. Like, we're doing this together. Here's her picture before, here's my before, and you just do little updates. Like, I just had a, check-in call with my buddy, and this is how she's doing, or this is what she said. It could be like really, really effective. And you could every now and then kind of say like, hey, does anybody want to do this with us? We're going to do another round. Does anybody want to join in? We're kind of putting together a small group. You could put together a local meetup or an after-school workout. You could just have some friends over to work out. You could do a free Facebook group community and kind of start that like a funnel. So like, hey, me and so, like my friend Becca and I, like we've decided I didn't want to do this alone. So I'm working with like a group, like in an accountability group online, and me and Becca decided that we're going to meet up every now and then, or just like be extra accountable. I'm putting together a Facebook group to track our progress and then to share some of the tips and things we've gone along the way. Does anybody else feel like they need like a fitness buddy? If you do, like here's a free like a link to this group. It's just for fun. If you, the raving fan, that's somebody that's like, I mean, you see people posting, they're like, oh my gosh, like I love this. This is amazing. Like this has just done so much for my life. This is good for coaches that are very enthused by the results that they have gotten from our tools. This was also kind of me. Like I evolved because I didn't mean to coach when I signed up, but then I like very quickly like evolved to, oh, I want more. But towards the beginning, I was like, just like, holy cow, like people need to know that this works. This is so good. Why wouldn't you do this? Raving fan. Coaches that don't have a ton of health and fitness knowledge and they don't feel like they can be like position themselves as an expert. This would be good for them. Coaches that already have a good network, people trust them or take their suggestions because it's kind of like an influencer. Like if they were raving about a recipe, people would listen to them. Or maybe they wouldn't listen to them yet. They haven't earned that right. Ideas for launching. Again, social media, so you could subtly leak products into your feed as you use them in daily life. So it's not just going to be like, I became a coach and I love this all of a sudden. It's just going to like, oh, I'm kind of using this. This is my journey doing this. And then as you earn that right, as you have shared your journey and you have showed that you are consistent, you earn the right to be more enthused about like the products and the specific things. Because if you just are like all of a sudden this is amazing, it's like how do you know? Like another idea would be share why you're starting your journey or upping your game. I think why is really important. So I just had a new coach and she shared something like about her, she had struggled, gone through infertility treatments and just like in the spring and just kind of like struggled, gained weight. And she just felt like she needed something for herself and she wanted to share to stay accountable and just kind of have a big reset. That was her why. Some other ideas is you could hold a sneak peek or party to educate people about our tools. I kind of talked about that. I think that would be good, especially if you were really like excited about this, like as a consumer, kind of like just what we do. And then also, again, put together a free local meetup after school workout, have friends over to work out. The next would be being a transformation specialist. And so that's going to be somebody that just like, they see their job as somebody that's always testing out the new products. Like, that's what I do. Here I go. Here's the new program, day one. And if you follow, Lindsay on our team, Lindsay Wilkins, her team is really good at this, like transformation specialists. They're like starting this workout, this program. Here's my, results. Here I go. And they'll just do it again and again. And and Ruth Schroner, like I said, she's always just getting a little bit different results. Maybe like she gained muscle. Maybe she leaned out. Maybe she, gained definition in her abs or butt. Like it's like product transformational specialist. I think it's good for gutsier coaches that are kind of like, watch me. Here's my day one, whatever. Here's my day 7, whatever. 14. Here we go. Coaches that are willing to be vulnerable and share their like weekly progress. Coaches that find joy in going all in and inspiring others. I think it's good for them. Ideas, a lot of the same things, social media posts, but saying maybe like, I'm testing this new program. And like, instead of being 21-day fix, it's a 3-week makeover program. Share why you are starting a journey and how you'll be using my social media. Like, I'm going to use this as a journal. I'm testing this thing, and I'm going to use it as a journal. Offer a free group where you'll be sharing tips and advice as you learn along the way. I'm about to test this new bodybuilding, like weightlifting program out. So if you've ever like wanted to kind of learn more about weightlifting, you can come into this free group, and I'm just going to be sharing like some of the tips that I learned, so you can kind of get an idea of, you know, if they'll help you along the way. And then again, invite people over to maybe share more of the tools, like because if they're going to be watching you, like they know you're doing a program, you could say like, hey, I'm having people over to do a workout and try this meal that I made on the plan or something like that. You know what? I didn't finish the last slide. I just realized that. The last one, I haven't finished it, was an expert, launching it as an expert. And so this would be, most of us on our team would be one of the past three that I just talked about, but then people like Nikki, who is getting her master's in nutrition, or Helen, who was a professional yoga instructor, or someone that's just like really, really confident, would be more like an expert. And so they're going to approach it more like, this is part of my practice now. This is part of what I'm offering now. You know that this is who I am. And so now I'm offering this. Personal trainers, they're just going to approach it it's really just a more confident way. Any of us could do this. And so I kind of shared how my journey went, but I quickly wanted it to be an expert. So ideas to launch, I mean, a lot of them are like very much the same. You're just going to phrase it less like, who wants to do it with me, to you could be my client. Like, I will walk you through this. This is what I'm offering. So some of us have to earn that expert, right? So it's not going to be a very great like launching technique, but it would be something to think about growing into. Things like professional photos, like profile pictures and that kind of stuff. That's going to be something that an expert like would do. They would post a lot more value things, like that are specifically about fitness and nutrition. Not necessarily less lifestyle behind the scenes, but a little bit less. It's less of like, let's link arms, and more like, here's what I can offer for you. So there's lots of different ways to approach coaching. All right, we're going to go through this pretty quickly. Sending links. We're just going to look at two options, and I have like a whole like a document on like step by step. But the first way is coachmobile.teambeachbody.com. It looks like this on the app on the phone, and this on the computer. It's super simple. You just put in your login with your Beachbody login information. You put in their email, and then you put in what type of shake they want, what type of program they want. Usually it's going to be all access. You click submit a couple times, and it sends them a link to check out. So this is good for challenge packs and coach signups. And I'll send the directions. And then if you want to send a single link for any, like a specific product, or for some reason the app isn't working, the app's also good because you can see if they opened it, and you can also send it again if you need to. But see if like, have they even seen this email? You can see that. And so if you're just sending links, like could be a challenge pack, could be a coach sign up, but it also could be like for the shift shop markers. You can either use this TBB coach 411, and I will send an email like with these links, and it looks like this on the right. You put in your coach ID, that's the number, and then you push submit, and then it generates a ton of different links, and you're going to copy them, and then you'll paste when you send. Don't click on it and have it in the browser and then copy it. You're going to right click and then copy it. And then the other is fitsimple.com/coach links. And it looks like this on the left. And you can use it on mobile or regular. Okay, now we're going to go into the art of inviting. And this is the last section. And so here's the first point is that you know way more people than you know. Like a lot more people than you know. A lot of times people are like, I don't know anybody, or I don't know who to talk to. But we all know a lot more people. And so you really want to start with your warm market. And really the way that this business works best, and I'm saying this from experience and then also from learning from, like some of these old school coaches that rocked it, is that harnessing somebody's warm market is ideal. So what we're going to end up teaching you is how to harness your warm market. And then as you have coaches to come on, how to help them harness their warm market. Because what I did, that's a lot more difficult, is I was like, okay, warm market, got it, fine. I don't want to run out of it. So I'm going to just go straight to cold market because I want to figure that out. And cold market is that's just people you don't know at all. It's way, way, way more difficult because the whole point of a cold market is to help them become a warm market. There's no reason that we would avoid a warm market. And that just means people that know you and you know them, or at least that they know you and you want them to know, like, and trust you. So people in your warm market will be more likely to know, like, and trust you faster. Give them the reason for the new storyline. And so that just meaning like you're putting it out there and like all of a sudden, okay, you're into health and fitness or you're a coach or whatever's going on. You need the great reason to invite them off the bat early on is so that they can know what your storyline is. Because if you don't invite them to like join you in some way, they're going to see you posting about this stuff and it might take 6 months or a year for them to connect the dots. They may have no idea. So you invite them, they immediately know, and then they can start putting the pieces together and say, oh, that's what she invited me to. Okay, do I want to do this? I know I said no or ignored her, but do I want to? Oh, I said there's 3 types of people. Okay, I was kind of brainstorming. I kind of think there's 4 types of people as far as like your warm market. The cheerleader buddy, this is one of my sisters, and she like immediately when I was like, I'm gonna coach, who wants to do this with me? She was like, me. Yes, they're like the person that's like always me, sure, whatever you need, I will support you. I want to be that person for you. The next person is like the always no. Like, it doesn't matter if you say like, hey, do you want to go get ice cream tonight? Nope, I got to go to bed. Nope, my kid has to go to bed. No, just can't do it. They're just always no. They don't like new information and it's easier. The next person is I'll wait to see if everybody else thinks this is cool first. So they're usually like a no or a nothing because they're like, oh no, I don't even think they think like this is too risky. I think they're just so used to never doing anything that they're not sure if it's cool or not. They want social proof. And that's why we show people social proof with testimonies and customer buddy stories and that kind of thing. And then lastly, I'm always the last to say yes. So let's talk about it again in 2 years. And so this was another one of my sisters. Like, she's like a no from like right off the bat, but then she also is like never will say yes until she realizes, okay, I think I'm okay with this. I think I'll try it now. And then very, very scared and timid. But they can be some of your most loyal people because they take a long time to make decisions. But once they do, they're like sold out. But you have to be okay that there's these 4 different types of people. In your warm market, I feel like is a little bit more honest and like with who they are right away. No matter your initial response, you always want to be on people's radar so they can process your story as you share it. These are the type of people that make follow-ups golden. A follow-up with a cold market is like nothing. It's like, who are you? But if the cold market becomes a warm market, so basically you have a relationship, they know who you are. Someone could say your name and they would know who you are. Like, you know what I mean? That's this is, they say the fortune is in the follow-up, and it really has to do with warm market. Okay, and so this is where I want you all to take out like a notebook, paper, something right now, and we're going to actually right now start a list. And this is something that I didn't do when I started. I saw a lesson like this and a memory jogger, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll do that later. Busy work. And I think it's very, 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 very important that it's not just floating around in your head. So what we're going to do, we're not going to do it all tonight, but this is going to be your like homework for this week. And ideally the sooner the better. We're going to make a list of the 50 people that would be perfect for our solutions, one of our solutions, and then the 50 people that we think would be ideal for coaching. And you could have even invited these people already. That's okay. But these are the type of people, the questions we should be thinking about when we're thinking, would they be perfect for our solution? So as I say these things, just write down, like right now, just write down a name that comes to mind. Somebody that's mentioned wanting to get into shape or lose weight. Is there anybody that you could think, I'm going to write it. I'm going to do the same thing. So somebody that has mentioned wanting to get in shape or lose weight. Okay. I actually can think of several people. Okay. Have a need for at-home fitness. And so this could be for a lot of different reasons, but basically it's not going to be easy for them to go running or get to a gym or a class. So write down anybody that you can think that would be like that. And even if it's like you think of somebody and it's not like, oh, that solution, just write another one. They are busy and could use efficient nutrition. So maybe they travel, maybe they just have a bunch of kids, they're in the car all the time. Okay, they're obsessed with health. So they really like premium things and good quality. They have kids and care about feeding them well. So this might be like daily sunshine kind of thing. Have kids and care about feeding them well. They are already into working out or athletes. They have poor digestion or health. Could be like thyroid problems, adrenal, high cholesterol, they're hypoglycemic. They want to learn to clean eat or portion control. I'm just going to say, if anybody ends up watching this on repeat, the recording, you need to have your paper out doing this too. They eat on the go a lot, like grabbing Starbucks as a meal. Chick-fil-A, that kind of stuff. It could be something where they could learn to use Shakeology. We could teach them how to prepare it, either on the go or freeze it and then take it from there. It could be a nurse. Nurses are good with this. Travel for work a lot. Again, bring a personal blender. Beachbody on demand is really good. Basically, you can take it to the gym at the hotel or do it in your room. And then kids play sport and drink Gatorade. And I mention this Gatorade thing all the time because I just think hydrate is like, it's just like it's a very, I think like it's not a huge PV, but it's kind of like I don't know, I think a no-brainer. It's got to be, I think the portion of it has to be cheaper than Gatorade, and it's way better. Okay, so then the next list of people, 50, would be top 50 people that would be perfect for coaching. So go ahead and as I say these, try to just write anybody's name out for this, and I'll send this to, is past customer that loves the products. You may be afraid to ask them to coaching, but that doesn't matter. Would they be great at it? Because they could be like the buddy person, the raving client, customer, the transformation specialist. Somebody that wants accountability for their health. So like they really needed to do it just because it's going to keep them on the ball. They need the income. Somebody that wants a hobby or something to sink themselves into. So they're always kind of like coming up with projects or doing things like that. And this would be something that would kind of line up with that. A mom that wants to stay at home but enjoys working, or again, kind of having side things to do so she doesn't feel like she's kind of losing herself, just to childcare. Somebody that's already into health and fitness. So this again is for coaching. Somebody that already is passionate about it, really loves it. Somebody that's hardworking. Somebody that's positive, really relational, like loves people, connects people. Just people always want to be around them. A connector. Somebody that's really creative. You think they could really come up with new ideas and new ways to do things. Someone that's had past success. It could be that they ran a different business, were in a different MLM. They did really well at their job, and then maybe they, stopped after having kids. And then somebody that has influence or a large network. And this could be on social media or this can be in person. It's like the person that's always making the parties or everybody knows because they're going to, they're going to get a hot start. And so now we're going to walk through the 5-step invite. And so this is basically a formula of how to talk to people. And when I first learned it, it seemed like really, I don't want to say rigid, just like, do I really need to be referencing this to talk to people? But it's actually like super, super, not only is it effective, but becomes really, really natural once you practice it. So the first step is, you're basically, if they come to you, you're going to skip to number 2. But if you go to them, you're going to invite them to do whatever you're doing, like invite them to learn more about coaching, invite them to learn more about your challenge groups, invite them to learn more about the performance line, whatever it is. But the basic gist, and I'll come up with some scripts to provide everybody with, but the basic gist of it is I always end with, if I sent you more information, would you look it over? So it might be like, I'm, about to start this new health and fitness accountability group or a boot camp or whatever, online boot camp. I think you'd really like it. If I sent you more information, would you look it over? I always end with that. The next part is called the bridge. So those 2 parts up top are kind of the bridge. And that just means it's something you have to say or ask them to get to the next step. And so if they said, sure, you would say, well, I want to make sure this is right for you. Can I ask you some questions first about like your goals and health history and that kind of stuff? Okay, permission granted, right? Then start asking them, like, what are you currently doing for health and fitness? Or what are your goals? Or do you have any family health history with thyroid disease, adrenal, high cholesterol, that kind of thing? You want to build a case, basically, for whatever solution you're going to offer. And you may not, probably don't know the solution until you really, really, really know. And if you sense that you're getting like, any time you're getting like, they're getting tense or whatever, you need to be asking you need to keep asking questions. Like if you feel like they're like, I don't need help with with nutrition, like, oh, okay. So what do you currently do? Like I want to make sure I understand how we can fit this all together with what you're already doing. What are you currently doing for eating? I'm doing Whole30. That's awesome. How long is this your first time going through it? Have you been doing it a lot? It's my first time going through it. What's your plan after that? I don't really know. Okay. Have you thought through any of it? Like, not really. I think I'll just keep eating like that. Okay. Would it be helpful to have something that was followed Whole30 guidelines, but just focus more on like what size portions and that kind of stuff? Yeah, that would be helpful. Okay, cool. That's helpful for me. Step 2B, if you have a bunch of questions, you understand what they need. Ask if they would watch a video specific to what you feel like would be good for them. You're like, okay, I think I have a good idea of what would be good for you. If I sent you a short video about it, would you have time to watch it in the next 24 hours? If so, what time would be good for me to follow up? Then they tell you, make the appointment to follow up, send the videos, and then reaffirm. Okay, so tomorrow around 2 would be good, or tomorrow night, great, or later tonight, great. Here's the videos or video. I'm going to check back in an hour, or I'm going to check back in tomorrow night, and after you've watched the videos, great. Then you're going to follow back in. Hey, I'm just checking. We had made this date for me to follow up. I just want to see, were you able to watch the videos? What did you like about them? And then this is the point where if they're like, oh, this, like, and they ask a question like, well, what's next? This is where you would say like, well, okay, great. You're ready. You're interested. Like, that looks good. Yes, that looks good. So this is what I would recommend. I'm going to recommend because you said, like you really need the motivation and the support, and and that you think that learning about portion after Whole30 would be helpful, and then also that you like the idea of the at-home fitness and everything. I'm going to suggest a challenge pack because it really has all those things. It has the year of fitness. It has 30 days of Shakeology that's going to help you with your stress that you had told me about, and it has the portion fix containers. And so it's basically like a sales bundle. Here's what the price is. I think this would be really, really good for you. And then they're like, okay, what do I do? How do I sign up? Then the last thing is you sign them the enrollment links. So, I mean, literally when I started as a coach, I just was like, okay, what's next? They said this, what do I do now? And I just kept doing it. And then after a while, it just becomes really, really natural. And you find that most of your conversation is in step 2. It's in interviewing them. And you just want to like keep asking more and more questions. And so here's my key phrases and tips. And I said, when you fight the 5-step invite, you're only delaying your success. And it's very, very true. Otherwise, you're just going to like word vomit on them. If I would you, that's something from GoPro. If I sent you more information about the group, about coaching, would you look at it? People are going to say yes. They're not saying yes to coaching or yes to a group. They're saying yes, they'd look at it. What interests you most about coaching? Maybe they said or like, what kind of like stuck out to you most about that video? Ask something for them to give you feedback on something positive, not what did you think? Are you into health and fitness too? Any goals you're working on? I find when I ask that to especially somebody that I'm just talking to, that I almost can create an invite, like without, it's like reverse does it. So I like interview them first. Any goals you're working on? Oh yeah, I'm trying to lose 20 pounds. Well, what are you doing for that? Well, I'm doing nothing. Oh, okay. How's, would it be helpful? Like, do you want some suggestions? Yeah, sure. Okay. Well, what have you tried in the past? Have you tried anything that's worked in the past? Yeah. Weight Watchers, but I just couldn't make it to the meetings. Okay. Well, why did Weight Watchers work well? Well, I really liked the meetings and the accountability, or I liked the tracker points. Okay. Did you do fitness when you did it? No, but I know I need to. Okay. I think I honestly have something that's going to work really well for you. I offer these health and fitness accountability groups, but I set you up with all the tools. If I sent you a short video about it, would you look at it? Sure. Would you think you'd be able to look at it like in the next 24 hours? And if so, when would be good to follow up? By tomorrow afternoon? Great. Here's the video. I'm going to follow up with you tomorrow afternoon. Great. Hey, it's tomorrow afternoon. What did you like most about the video? Oh, I like that it did this. It looks great. How much does it cost? Well, based on what you told me, I think that the challenge pack is going to be the best because it does this, this, and this, and this. It's $160. Does this sound good to you? You want to go ahead and get started? Yes. All right. I just need to know what flavor Shakeology. Great. Here's the link. Check your email. So it just becomes like a rhythm. You're like, oh, I can move the conversation. I follow this. I just interview them and I move it. Another one, have you ever considered trying on like at-home workouts? Feel them out first. The invite is just, like I said, the seed, the fortunes, and the follow-up. So don't get too hung up on success or failure. This is all a journey. One mindset is go for no. Like invite so many people that you're actually going for 100 no's instead of 100 yeses, because then you've done that and then you have people to follow up with. Good book is Go Pro. And then I read How to Rock Your Network Marketing Business a long time ago. And it's very like network marketing focused. So it's kind of in some ways like, oh, we don't really do this, but I think it really helps with how to be bold and that kind of thing. A couple other things are like a zigzag technique. So when you can kind of tell people aren't totally into the conversation, like they're like holding back a little, this is really good with like a cold market. You can kind of zigzag in. So you've got the 5-step invite, but maybe it's like, hey, I would love for you to be part of this health and fitness group. If I sent you more information, would you look at it? They're like, yeah, sure. You say, okay, what's your email? And then first, can I ask you a couple questions? Get their feedback. But then maybe you say like, oh my gosh, like I just saw on your Instagram feed, your dog had a birthday. Like, happy birthday, dog. How was that? You zigzag. So it's not just like, I don't really know you. And I'm like, trying to, so you don't want to get too far, but like, oh, the dog had a great birthday. That's so cool. Okay. So, I sent the video. When would be a good time for me to follow up? Tomorrow at 3. Okay, perfect. Tomorrow at 3. Don't forget to, tell Fido I said happy birthday. You're zigzagging back and forth. So you're getting to know them more on a personal level while you're following that formula. And that can kind of keep it light. And also get to know them better. Don't informational vomit. Only give them the information they need. So you don't need to be like, here's your millions of ways that you can sign up for a challenge pack or to do this. You can do a one-time order, or you can be a discount coach, or you can do this. Just keep it very short correspondences, only what they need to know, because they can always ask more questions. Ask questions that will lead to answers or like problems that they have that we have solutions for. Don't get so sidetracked on relationship building off in areas that don't really go anywhere, because then it's like, how do I get it to health and fitness? So try to start with health and fitness. That's what you do as a job. Get to the point with topics about health, stress, fatigue, healthy eating, fitness goals, life vision, income, jobs, dreams, that kind of stuff. And there's a technique called forming someone. And basically, when you talk about someone's family, their occupation, what they do for recreation and fun, and their motivation or their dreams, those really get to the heart of who they are, and you start to find this problems, the things they have, like what are the hard parts in their family. If I say that my son's got a gut blockage, well, you might think someone might have recommended daily sunshine for that being great. If I say like we're going to soccer practice all the time and it's killing us, or I'm so tired from the kids being so high maintenance, you may say you need to drink Shakeology. Have you ever heard of it? Have you ever considered trying that? It's got adaptogens in it. It's like really good for stress. Occupation. Yeah, my husband's a nurse. He works night shift. It kills us, man. We would love for him to be home more. Oh, well, have you ever considered like coaching? Because you could totally build up towards that. Recreation. We really love to water ski. Like we would love to own our own boat someday. Oh, really? Well, what are your plans to get there? Oh, I don't know. We're never going to be able to get out of student loan debt. Oh man, you should hear the story about one of the coaches that I know, and they just paid off all their student loan debt with just like one thing. I mean, they've been working as a coach for this many years, but it's amazing like the type of bonuses and income you can make. Have you ever considered coaching? So these are the things that kind of get to the core of, who somebody is and what motivates them. And so this is basically your homework. So Lydia, you're the only one on, and I think it's because nobody else wanted to do any homework. But this is like a big deal, and so I really would love everybody watching, to do this and send it to me. I'm not going to do anything with this, but this is like important. Complete that list of 50 people you think we have some solution for, and 50 people you think coaching would be great for. And then for anybody who's able to do that before our next meeting, we're going to do like a vision and goals workshop. So basically just kind of like put together a vision board and really where we want this all to go. And kind of as we're learning about all of this and practicing these things, just remember like to scale your goals, like how big your goals and your vision can be, but also that what you're doing is adding up. And so I guess from here that went, I mean, this is good to know. It was about 2 hours. I was hoping it'd be an hour and a half. But from here, what I'm also going to do is I'm just going to email everybody as I gather the resources, and then also get feedback on what other like resources, checklists, like how we can take what we did tonight and try to master as much of it in this next week before we move on, and what you all need to do that, and that kind of thing. So does that sound good? Okay. Do you have any questions like right off the bat? Do you have any questions right now? Lydia, do you have any questions right now?
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for hopping on. Have a good night, Lydia.
Bye.
Bye.